Hallo zusammen, schönen guten Morgen. Wir haben einen Gast mitgebracht, unseren neuen Coach. Deswegen werden wir zumindest den ersten Teil in jedem Fall auf Englisch machen. This is Pablo Laso, our new coach. It's on behalf of the club. I can say it's a big pleasure and honor to have you here.
Thank you.
Tell us, how comes that you choose Munich?
Well, guten Tag. First of all, I wish my next press conference or in the future will be in German. But right now, we'll stay with English. And we're not going to talk in Spanish. We shouldn't. But we'll go in English. First of all, it's a big pleasure for me to be here. I want to thank Marco, Daniele, for the interest of having me as a coach of a great team. Great team and great expectations to continue growing on every chapter that we will have in the future. Our youth program, we have a lot of talent coming up. I think we have a very good team, very competitive team, and I think that for me, it's a big step to come to a different country. I only coached in Spain, and I think it's a big challenge also for me, and I'm very happy to be here with this team and this great organization. More or less, that's it. Not much to say. Not much to say.
Well, first of all, I would like to say that I've done a lot of press conferences in the past, but this is a special one because I feel very honored and we are all very happy that we could get Pablo to accept to be coach of this club. Maybe I don't have to say it, but anyhow, I'll say it. I think Pablo is one of, if not the most successful coach in European club competition in the last decade. And for him to choose us as his next step, like he said, first time out of Spain, as his next step in a career is really a huge honor. Regarding how we agreed, I think Daniele can say how they agreed about the contract, but it was, to me, I know Pablo, obviously we know each other for a long time, and it was, we looked us in the eyes, and it was automatically understood that there is a huge interest from both sides, and I believe we talked a lot. We talked a lot about the history of the club, because Bayern Munich is a big organization, so for him it was very important to understand how the club functions, and we talked a lot about not only our first professional team, but especially a lot about our youth organization and the structure we have. So basically it was, I think the negotiations 5 minutes, but everything else was a real joy to discuss basketball and to make Pablo understand who we are and what we would like to be. So again, I'm very happy and very honored. Thank you.
Thank you, Marco. Bayo, for you, so the most difficult deal or important deal is done for this season. What is the next step to build the roster for next season?
Okay, buongiorno, first of all, to everybody. I hope I can do the next press conference in German also. I just arrived, so...
You've been here for 10 years, so...
No, I've been here for multi-week period of time, so... I think we have the chef, so now as we Italians like to talk about the food all the time, you know, we have to put together the right ingredients and come up with a good recipe. So we're very happy. I've known Pablo for a while. He may not remember because I was 30 kilos bigger back then, but during the lockout year, he had one of the players that we had selected, which was Kyle Singler, when I was working with the Pistons, and I had the fortune of attending few of his practices back then. So obviously, it was the beginning of his tenure in Real Madrid. He's been with the most successful European club basically forever. For us, it's a huge step, and the cooperation that has been ongoing over the last few days is already very exciting for me, and I hope for him, but I can't speak for him. So Marco mentioned the negotiations. It was very easy because I'm pretty sure that now people will start talking about our budget and the money and this and that. We sold half of Marienplatz and a quarter of the Allianz Arena to sign him. So just quote me on this, because this is what happened.
When I'm receiving that.
Excuse me?
When I'm receiving that. I will say, okay.
Morgen, that's the
Morgen.
Morgen.
Morgen is in Spanish mañana.
Mañana, domani.
Domani.
Okay, das war der Start von hier. Pablo hat einen Zweijahresvertrag unterschrieben. Die Pressemitteilung müsste jetzt auch rausgehen. Und jetzt seid ihr herzlich eingeladen, Fragen zu stellen. Bitte auf Englisch. Wenn es ein Problem gibt, können wir auch übersetzen. Könnt ihr dann auf Deutsch auch fragen. Wer mag beginnen?
It sounds a bit as if it tempts you to be the architect of something new and not to go to any team that is already on the top, but maybe a team that can go there. Am I right? Is it?
Well, I think for me it's important to first get here. I think they've been doing a great job on the previous year. Played Bayern a lot of times with Madrid, and they have great coaches, great players, and it's a team that is always competitive. They won cups, leagues, and for me it's a big challenge. For sure, we want to win. I wish that I can come here and say we're gonna win the EuroLeague. I wish, but I didn't say that when I signed in Real Madrid, and that was a big club. If I sign in Barcelona, I'm going to go to Barcelona and say we're going to win the EuroLeague. If I sign in Cesca, I'll go no. Same thing in Bayern. I think we believe on the project, on the players that we have, on our program, and on the things that we can do together. That's what probably brought me here. Believing on everyone's project to be as good as it can be. And this is something that for me was very important, and I think it was a big part of my decision to come to Bayern.
Robert.
Coach, can you describe the idea of basketball you want to implement here? Bayern was a defensive-minded team the last years. What's your idea you want to put in?
Yeah. Let's put it this way. If I say I'm a great defensive coach, they will kill me, because in fact my first years in Madrid, everybody was saying my team was to play no defense. Then we won the championships, and then everybody said, "Oh well, they're very good." No. My idea of basketball is as difficult as simple. You play defense and you play offense, but you don't play defense and you don't play offense. We have to play somehow continuous, I don't know if you say it right, continuous basketball. So it's important that we're good on transition, offensive transition, that we're good on the defensive transition, and then we're ready to play together as a team. And this is something that for me is very important. When I coach Real Madrid, for sure I coach great players. I always have a lot of respect for players, but at the end, it has to be a team thing. It doesn't matter how good of a player do you have. As a coach, you need to get the team together. It doesn't matter, let's say, one player gets 35 points. Great for him. But if we lose, we're something that we're not doing good. So for me, it's very important that we all understand that we need to all collaborate. We need to be a team. And I wouldn't like to be a defensive coach. I wouldn't like to be an offensive coach. I would like to be a coach that everybody will say, okay, the team plays this way. And I leave that for you guys. Play great defense on a game, play great offense on a game, you will write it, not me. For me, probably we won't play the perfect game.
Christian.
Yep.
What do you think about the last season of FC Bayern? And
Yeah.
what do you think about your new squad?
Yeah. Well, when you have that many injuries, it's hard to describe a season. Okay. It's funny, but I saw Lucic hitting a shot to win a game. I watched that play. And next morning, I read on the news that he was going to be out for the year. I mean, that's hard for the team. I think Rabbit was great on the beginning of the season, then he got hurt. Otelo didn't play on the last 3 or 4 months, no? Mm-hmm. Okay. And almost everyone was out for a while. Winston was out, Walden was out, Jaramas was out, Obbs was out. So, Cisco, Sipser was out. Mm-hmm. Like, it's very difficult to, let's say, talk about a team that had, let's knock on wood, that many injuries. But I think they were very competitive. They won the cup. I think it came a moment in EuroLeague where probably last 4 or 5 games, it was difficult for them because they were probably away from the playoffs, and it's difficult in EuroLeague play without a goal. And on the league, for sure, it was a disappointment for everyone because you expected to play until the end, try to win the title. And they lost probably earlier than what they thought. But it's true that it's very difficult to judge because they have so many injuries during the year that, for me, watching it, let's say, on TV, I cannot say much. I have a lot of respect for players. I think they did a great job when they were all healthy. I think Andrea did a great job. But it's true that at the end, for whatever reasons, probably the team didn't finish the way that everybody would like. No?
Michael.
One of the main characteristics of Real Madrid in the last decade was that the core of the players have been playing forever together.
Yeah.
How important is it for you that the core of the team has kind of 3-4 years together and build kind of a new squad?
For me, what is important is the core of the team, that's for sure. And the core of the team can be made by, let's say, American, that gets everybody together. You're talking about Real Madrid, core of the team, players together, Spanish players playing together. It was funny. I think we were playing here. We were going to the locker room, and Chacho, Sergio Rodriguez came out. Pablo, put Slaughter to play with me. So at the end, the core is asking you for another guy to play with. I think that's something that for sure you have to work from the first day. But for me, the core of the team is very important. I think here we have a lot of players that they're coming back, that they have great season, like, for example, I don't know, Andy. Andy will play on the national team, no? I don't want to put pressure on Gordon.
If they call him up.
But I think the core of the team is very important. And it's true that in Madrid, probably the core of the team was let's say, the Spanish players at that time. Okay, Rudy, Chacho, Yul, Mirotic, Felipe. But here also there is a core of that kind of players, German players that play here together for years. And I'm sure that you build that from the first day. And this is something that I'll be looking for since my first day of practice. More.
Sebastian.
Many things were written about your health with the heart attack last year. How do you feel at the moment in the last month? And are you ready for this for this year, for this season, which will be very hard, of course?
Yes.
Many games and so on.
Well, normal that they talk about my health. I think it was a little bit. They talk too much about my health. I feel good. Well, you can see. Probably this year I decided this year not to coach, sincerely. That doesn't mean that I would coach tomorrow. I said this during the whole year, because inside of me, I'm a coach. So the first thing you said is, I will coach tomorrow. But I think it was good that I took my time on seeing different things, and somehow look for the best opportunity for me. And I had a friend who called me up and said, Pablo, how many years did you coach? I went like 11 in Madrid, plus 4 in San Sebastian, plus 2. So, and you've been 11 years in Madrid. Take 1 year off. Well, not that easy. It's easy to say when it's not you, but for me it was difficult. Because inside of me, okay, I have the willing of coaching. But at the same time, I think it was good for me to have this year a little bit of disconnect, watch different things, different game. I watched soccer. I went to, I don't know, my son's graduation. Will probably spend more time with my family, change some habits of my life. Like Marco and me, we talked one day on the phone. I said, I'm at the gym. He said, what? Well, I go to the gym. I also go to the gym. I used to go more when I used to play, but it's true that you change some habits, but I'm physically okay, ready, and willing to start preseason, sincerely.
Perfect.
Pablo Laso in Madrid worked very well. You were already talking about the challenge of going in a new country now.
Yeah.
What makes you optimistic that Pablo Laso will work in Munich?
Well, first of all, they have confidence on me. That's the most important thing. That's why I'm here. And I don't know. Like I said, I'm not going to come here and say I'm going to win tomorrow. That's stupid. I never think like this. I'm not a guy who thinks that I'm going to lose. I would think somebody would come beat me. My feeling here is that we can build something good together. We have a talent coming up. We have a good core of the team that we can make a good core of the team. We were talking before about the core of the team. I think we can make a good core of the team that will help. For sure, we will bring some new players because we have some players that will leave. And we will try to get our fans happy and to make our fans willing to watch our game. This is something that inside of me, it's very important. Winning games, for sure. Who doesn't like to win? Let's go inside and play tennis, you and me. You want to beat me, no? I want to beat you. That's normal. But, okay, if you and me, we play tennis, no one is going to watch us. Sorry. Sorry. I'm a terrible tennis player. Okay. But we have fans here who love basketball, and we're willing that they will love basketball even more. And this is something that we have to work all together to bring people here and push us like they've been doing on the last years. And that's something that we would like to improve. I hope winning will help.
This is a question for Marco and maybe Daniela as well, and of course for you, coach, as well. It's the first time in 12 years that there is a Spanish coach, and we always say in basketball there is the Spanish school and the Yugoslavian basketball school. You guys here were more the Yugoslavian style, Serbian coaches, and Andrea, who's more like, maybe, well, all together maybe. But this is the first time that we have a Spanish coach. Does it mean that that you want to implement a little bit of more Spanish basketball school as well to the club, or is this just a coincidence?
You first. You're the boss.
First of all, when there is a coach like Pablo on the market and he's interested in our club, then I don't look at him as a Spanish coach, basically, because yes, he worked all his life in Spain, and he had a great basketball career, which to me is very important also. But I think Pablo was also, his style, the way he plays basketball was also influenced by many other coaches. Maybe also coaches who came from former Yugoslavia, maybe coaches from the United States, maybe Italian coaches. This is something that he needs to answer. But I really, honestly, did not, or we did not think about let's change the culture of which kind of basketball we follow. I must say that all the titles we won in this club were won by coaches who came from former Yugoslavia. This is true. But I think what we for sure need is some facelift in the way we approach the game, in the way we, like Pablo said, we present the game to our fans. And I believe when you watch Pablo's teams play, it was always a joy watching them play. So I think there was no, the idea was not to change the culture of coaches. It was just to get the best possible coach who is interested in our project. Obviously, it's no secret that Pablo did not only have the option of Bayern Munich. So I guess there are many other top clubs who were interested in his services. But I think the fit of what we want to do, the fit what his interest in the new club was so good that we basically never discussed those kind of issues, because this is not an issue among us, which basketball school or which European basketball school we follow. So I haven't thought about it really. But it's not. It was not. Madrid won the EuroLeague. National team of Spain won European Championship and so on. This was not the idea. But I might think about it, but I didn't think about it until now. Yeah.
You answered that, not me.
Well, for me, it's simple. I've been coached by a lot of coaches. I played in the States back on my days when I had long hair and everything. And they said, well, he's American. Like my first days playing in Vitoria, I was hanging with the Americans. And everybody said, like, well, he's not Spanish, he's American. I was born in Vitoria. Then I played in Spain. I played in Italy. Terrible, please. But I played in Italy. But I played in Italy. I had ex-Yugoslavian coaches. And I spoke to a lot of coaches all around the world. Myself, when they ask me, and they tell me, Pablo, who was your favorite player? It was hard for me to say, because for me, my favorite player is Michael Jordan. But if I think that I can play like Michael Jordan, the stupid one is me. So probably if I go to the NBA, my favorite player was Stockton, who was a little bit similar as me. I was lucky that I played for a lot of coaches, and I learned from all of them. From all of them. Good things and bad things. Things that I would do, things I would never do. So out of that, you create yourself. And this is something that also depends on the players that you have. I'm going to put an example. Daniele, would you get Tavares?
No.
No. Okay, you wouldn't get Tavares. If you have Tavares, you cannot play the same way that if you have, let's say, Zion. They're different players. So at the end, coaches will have to adjust and make sure you're ready to improve your game. Not a school is going to teach you how to play, but you have to adjust. Many years ago, a friend told me, Pablo, you have to go and coach Bayern Munich. I was coaching in San Sebastian when he told me that. And I was like, Bayern Munich, why? And like 2 years ago, another friend told me, Pablo, you have to go to Bayern Munich. I was like, what's wrong with Bayern Munich? What's wrong with me? What's wrong with my friends telling me this? Well, I'm here, and I don't think I'm here because I'm Spanish. I think I'm here because they believe on the way things should be done together, and this is something that I like about this club, I like about these persons, and right now makes me being happy of being here. Not just, I'm going to bring my style, no. I think it has to be a, let's say, I don't know how you say it in English, collaboration of everyone trying to get the best for Bayern Munich.
There is one thing, though, that we really discussed a lot, and I remember 5-6 years ago when Pablo was coach of Real Madrid. I went to Madrid to visit their practice facilities and to learn, and since that time we had a lot of discussion about the youth program, the structure of the youth program, how to make the gap between the youth program and the professional team, let's say, smaller. And this is something that I'm really looking forward with Pablo, because this really was a big part of our discussion lately, how we can close the gap between our youth department and the second team and the first team. And this is something we can learn from Pablo and Real Madrid, and the way they handle these things, because we can always discuss talent. Is a young player talented or not? But those players also need to get an opportunity, because Pablo had in his hands so many extraordinary young talent, Luka Doncic and Garuba and Mirotic,
and
all these players.
Hernan
Gomez, yeah. And they were all talented, but they needed an opportunity. So we discussed a lot. I think it's very important. It was a very important topic to me, because we need a little shift in that culture, because I think our potential is much bigger than we showed in the last couple of years. And I'm looking really forward to also, let's say, learn from Pablo and his experiences with the Spanish club. Correct? I mean, I'm not...
No. You're right. I mean, I think it was last night we talked about Luka. First time Luka came to Madrid, he was 13 years old. And I remember Alberto Angulo, who was running the youth program, showed me a tape of him playing, 13 years old, playing in Slovenia. And he showed me a tape, blah, blah, blah. And I went like, what? What do I have to see? I mean, he's going to be good. But the most important thing, how is his family, how is his behavior, a lot of things that is more than just basketball player. And I think it's the same. It's like right now I will tell you guys, in 5 years we will have 12 players from our youth program playing on the first team. We wish that won't be like that. It's not like that in Real Madrid. It's not like that on any club. At the end, you go to the market and you sign players, but we think we have talent where we can improve our players to become better. And at the end, the whole club becomes better. And the first team is pushed by the guys who are behind. Like, Luka was very good. But he deserved the minutes he played for Real Madrid. I didn't give him the minutes. He deserved them. Garuba, who plays now in Houston, NBA, same thing. He looked for his minutes. He was pushing Felipe Reyes. At the end, we have to create a little bit this culture, and I think Bayern has that potential, and that helps a lot to everyone to understand that we'll wish that in the future we will have a lot of guys coming from our youth program, but I'm sure we won't have all of them coming from our youth program. It would be very idealistic, no?
Yes, romantic.
Very romantic, but probably won't be like that. It's not like that in any team. Even Red Star, no?
No.
Red Star.
Even Red Star. Yeah.
Red Star, we could
Also.
definitely have.
They don't have...
Yeah, at the end it's Campazo, Vildoza, they're not Serbians, no?
No.
So even the teams that have a lot of local players, they go to the market. What it's understandable.
Okay, maybe it's the right one for Daniele. Marco talked about facelift. The team needs. How does this influence the roster going forward? And what can you say about the roster now?
Well, today is the first time we actually meet the three of us in person, so we will decide going forward, from today on. We will discuss starting from today.
Okay. So can you already say who's leaving? Or
No.
Who's staying?
No, because we haven't talked to the people that are actually part of the team that just finished the season, and I don't think it's fair to disclose our intention on the media first. First, we'll talk directly to the players that were and are under contract, and then we also have to deal with the agencies that represent them in terms of expectations, what they want to do, what they think they can do. So, like I said, I mean, it is a discussion that has to happen internally first. But certain things, I think that if you watch the season, if you follow the team, certain things will be, areas of improvement that we believe are necessary to improve. I think that they're there to be seen. So I'm pretty positive that this is going to be the leitmotif of our discussions. I know you wanted names, but I can't give you any. So.
We talked about Tavares.
Yeah, but I don't want it.
Too big for you, no?
The late Maurizio Balducci was very successful agent, and he always said, like, he's too tall. He's too tall for everything. Like, so.
Good question to the coach. Are there some players you can suggest to Daniele? Are there some special types of players you're looking for? Some coaches like to play with a 220 center like Tavares, or a special type of point guard?
I think it's something that, let's say a little bit, we have to, like I want Tavares, and he doesn't want Tavares. What am I going to do? I leave the room. No. I think at the end it has to be a little bit that fits on the right spot, on the right situation, on the right team. I don't know. It's difficult to say names, but I'm going to put you an example. Stupid one. We need 6 Germans on the floor, no? Right. On the team. Right. We only signed 4. We're pretty stupid, no? They will go like, Pablo, listen, just to tell you, you need 6 Germans. So at the end, there is rules that we have to work together, and situations like, let's talk about a guy. Juan Núñez, he's Spanish. Here is a foreigner. No? As simple as that. So you can put a player that is foreigner from France who has the same, let's say, we say in Spain, passport as an American. So at the end, it's not only talking about names, it's a little bit about a structure. That's what I was saying just before, that I'm worried about the team. For me, it's the most important thing, the team, not the names. Names, we're Bayern Munich. We're going to try to bring the best players we can. I guarantee you that. But the best players, LeBron James, we cannot sign him. I mean, I would love to tell Daniele, hey, we need LeBron James. Maybe Daniele will go home and say, why do we need you?
Well, feel free to say it. There's no problem. It's all good.
Okay, I hope you understand what it's our purpose, and I understand Daniele was very clear on this. It's not about names. It's about what it fits for us, what it's going to be good for the team. I think it's most important than even names.
Another question to Daniele himself. If you are planning this roster, the most important thing, your contract is expiring in 2023, or is there something new you want to tell us?
There you.
He has 18 more days, and then 18 more days to finish the team.
Listen, the general manager told me he's going to fire me on the 29th of June, okay? Just for the sake of firing me. Can
So
I
you
answer
have
the question
17
for
more
me? Can I
days.
answer?
17 more days.
No, he asked me about my contract, not about his contract. He just signed a new one. So, my deal, okay, I've been in this club for 6 years, and I've been in Germany for 9 years. the relationship that I know it's difficult to believe, but I worked for the previous organization I worked for before coming to Germany on a handshake for 5.5 years. So the relationship that is governing, let's say, us seeing each other every day goes beyond the piece of paper. And if our words are not worth the paper the contract is printed on, we cannot work together. This is the first thing I told President Hoeneß when I first signed my first contract. Because, can I say, but the first 2 months I worked without a contract because there was no time to get it done. It was July, and he said me, a handshake is more valuable than a contract for me. So, you know, I take pride at working for such a long time for an organization that is ruled by these principles. So, I mean, anytime any of the two parts get tired, you know, we know that there's not a piece of paper that is going to determine what is owed, what is due. So, this is the type of, in principle, we have agreed long ago. And it wasn't announced, but there was really no need to announce. There were a lot more urgent things to take care of than my contract. So, enough.
Gibt es sonst noch Fragen? Bitte.
Were you in contact with Coach Trinchieri?
No, I didn't talk to him. I have a very good relationship with him. Despite that we have a little misunderstood on but I have a great relationship with Andrea, and I was not in contact with him. I don't think in fact, I didn't have contact with any coach during the year. They're working hard, trying to get the best out of their team. I don't think it would be fair that I contact anyone because they're on their mind or next game, and I was not in contact with him, but I have a very good relation with Andrea, and Radonjic was coaching here first, no? And even Sasa, your father, I know them all, and I have great relationship with all the coaches that coach here before, and for sure with Andrea.
Julian.
Yeah, what will be the goal for the next season and for the next years? And I have in my mind that Markus said when Bayern will go to SAP Garden, Bayern wants to be a constant playoff candidate for the EuroLeague. Is this still the goal? And how will this be next season?
That goal will not change. I mean, our goal is to be. First, our goal was to be constantly in the EuroLeague. Then the goal was to become a shareholder. We achieved this. The next goal is to be constantly in the playoffs. Now, we played 2 years in a row in the playoffs. This year, we missed the playoffs. But this club will always have the highest goals. And the next next of those highest goals is beside the goals that we're going to have in domestic, in the Bundesliga, is to be constantly fighting for the playoffs or be in the playoffs. So there is no when you have the when you have the feeling of playing in the playoffs, and we had 2 very close series against Milano and Barca. You obviously first know how difficult it is for a club like Bayern Munich to reach the playoffs, and then at the same time you have the feeling that you missed something the Final Four very closely. And this experience that the whole organization had in those 2 years was so extraordinary that the goals will not change. Now, nobody can guarantee a playoff. If you can see FS, who won two championships in a row, did not make the playoffs this season. Panathinaikos, who were for a decade, the best team in Europe, didn't reach the playoffs. So nothing is guaranteed, but this goal will not change. But in order to achieve this goal, going to the new arena, right now we have to put a fundament for this. Now, there is one positive thing about finishing the season way too early, and this is that we, for a week now, we've licked our wounds, but from today the new season is starting, and now we have more time than we had in the last 5 or 6 years, because in the last 5 or 6 years, seasons have been ending end of June. Right now we have more time. We have the whole June to sit, discuss, analyze things, and basically Pablo is here also in the season, coming after the season when we go to the SAP Garden. Now the goal is to not only prepare the team for next season, but set a fundament for years coming. And this is why, again, I don't want to bother you too much, this is why it's not only important who is the German players, who is the foreigners, what is the concept of the team. There is much more beneath it with the young team, with this identification that we have to accelerate, as I like to say, in this summer, and to find a good recipe for building this fundament. And I believe we are on my feeling is we are on to do something special. So, but we'll see. You know, there's a little bit more time. He chose apartment very close to me and Daniele, so we'll be talking a lot and meeting a lot.
Yeah.
Ruben. For Marco, how much more of, let's say, financial creativity allows you the new BMW deal?
We will see that. And I don't like, you know me, I don't like talking about finances. I don't think the finances are very important, obviously, and we are working every day to improve our situation.
It's more like what you can make.
Correct. It is, like Pablo said, it's not about the finances, it's about what we're going to achieve with the money that we have. We have to be obviously very careful because we are still not in the SAP Garden, and we still have to prepare our entrance into the new arena. At the same time, we have huge goals with this arena, also business-wise. So this is why the BMW deal is important, because it gives us continuity also with this arena. But I think we'll find a way to look good. I'm pretty sure.
Noch ein, zwei letzte Fragen. Jan.
Coach, you've been with Real Madrid for 11 years, and Marco said you were talking about this organization, about this club a lot before you came here. You haven't been here for a long time, but is there something, even in your imagination, where you think, well, this feels a little bit like Real Madrid already?
Just the name. Okay. Let's go to the States, go to a school and ask a kid, tell me the best 5 clubs in Europe. Bayern Munich will be one of them. They will go like, Bayern Munich, Barcelona, whatever, Liverpool.
Bologna.
Madrid also. Not Bologna. Not Bologna.
Italian
Sorry, probably not Italian club, but
Reggio Emilia.
But it's true that I think Bayern Munich has that. I mean, you don't create that like this. This is a lot of years of work, and you can burn it quick, but it takes a long time to become a team like Bayern Munich. And that's something that, for me, being here, it's something that I really appreciate. And the example that I put you on, I don't know, you go to Lima, Peru, and you ask a little kid, tell me 5 clubs in Europe. Bayern Munich is going to be there. We all know that. And that's great. You don't make that like this. And this is something that probably, I mean, it's, ¿cómo se dice? How you say it is, it's a motivation.
Motivation.
Motivation, it's a motivation for the people who comes to this club. and it's something that that I really thought about.
Christian, nochmal.
One question to Mr. Pirsic. Are there any news when you will play in the SAP Garden?
Yeah, for now the plan is starting season 24-25 that we are pretty confident. I must look around at Adrian. We are pretty confident that in the season 24-25 we will be playing in the SAP Garden.
Christina.
Are you following the finals? I mean, Munich missed them, but now it's Ulm against Bonn. Are you following them? And what's your prediction?
Well, my prediction is simple. I think Bonn is going to win. Watch out with Ulm because they have one. No.
And next year, sorry.
No, next year Bayern Munich is going to win. No, seriously, I think it's going to be, I mean, both teams played very well during the year. I think Ulm was, starting slow, but they finished very well. Normal, they have a young team, and they went up, and I think they're doing a great job. We saw it. I mean, lo sufrimos, we suffered. And Bonn has been playing very solid the whole year. They won the BCL, no, in Malaga. And they're in the final now, and they have home advantage. It was yesterday, the second game, where they won easy, but they lost the first one. So I think Bonn is favorite, but watch out, Ulm is playing at great level.
Alles gefragt, alles beantwortet? Letzte Chance? Möchte noch jemand? Sonst, okay, Robert.
So it's obvious all of you don't want to talk about new players. Let's take a note of you have 5 young players who are playing on loan. Probably, are there any plans to bring some of them back?
5 on loan. Who are they?
George, Grant, Weidemann, Rudan, Brankovic.
Brankovic is here
Brankovic
already.
is practicing on the court. Okay. I should answer. That's why I don't want Tavares, by the way, because I already have the long guy, you know. Okay, obviously I'm not going to say anything about the George situation. It's still a little bit up in the air, so we're waiting. I can say that the plan is to, because the contract is like that, the plan is to bring Weidemann back. We believe, let's put it this way, put him at disposal of the coach. Then the coach is going to decide whether he's going to use him or if he goes on a loan for another.
Yes, Weidemann is going to stay.
Thank you, coach.
To help you a little bit.
Thank you. Yeah, okay. Rudan most probably is going to be taking advantage of another year on loan after a very solid second season in the ABA Liga. I already answered about Brankovic, and the option on Sasha Grant's situation is very late. So we'll take the time needed to evaluate his progress and the option that he's going to have on the market, because he's eligible as a local player for 2 countries, Italy and Germany.
I already answered. I said Weidemann is going to stay.
Yeah. Breaking news.
Sorry.
No problem. Okay, Ruben.
For Marco, is it still the plan to do just the highlight games in the SAP Garden when it starts, EuroLeague especially, or will that change?
We have a clear commitment with our partners regarding the SAP Garden project that we are going to pay a certain number of games there. We already know how many we are going to play, but we did not decide yet because we have to look at the schedule. It's a little too early now. But what is sure is that we're going to play at least for quite some time, also in the Audidome. So, but we know exactly how many games we're gonna play. We have to wait for the scheduling of the games. Maybe early year of 24. So in a couple of months we will know exactly. But yeah, we're gonna be using this arena for quite some time also.
Dann würden wir jetzt hier noch ein Foto machen. Der BR mag vielleicht gleich noch einen German O-Ton bekommen von Marco.
Nee, alles gut.
Alles gut?
Hast du alles?
Wunderbar, umso besser. Dann danke ich euch fürs Kommen.